Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that we are all back here today because I am bringing to you all a first year teacher slash just regular teacher Q&A. I took to my Instagram account, and if you're not following, make sure you click the link below and follow me on Instagram. I post there basically daily. I took to Instagram and I asked you all what questions did you have from a first year teacher to a first year teacher or just about teaching in general, and you guys gave me so many amazing questions, and I cannot wait to share these questions with you all and answer them, and hopefully it takes care of the common questions that I receive. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First question comes from AO, it's Ashley on Instagram, and she goes, how do you not get stressed your first year? LOL. How much planning do you do over the summer before your first year? So how to not get stressed your first year? I really don't know. I was stressed my very first year almost daily. I think it's normal to be stressed your first year. You're still very much new. You're still learning how to do basically everything. And things that you already know how to do, you're still trying to figure out how to get it in a way that is like perfect for you in your classroom. So I really don't think there's a way to not be stressed, but just know the best way that I found to kind of ease some of my stress is I tried not to bring work home, and I tried to keep my weekends as my weekends. I tried to just stay on top of my work so it didn't start piling up. It didn't always work out to my advantage, but I would just say stay on top of things. Give yourself a break. Don't feel like you have to do schoolwork until 8 o'clock at night. I was doing that for literally the first month of school. It was horrible. I was getting so burnt out, and I just don't suggest that for anybody. Over the summer, I did a ton of planning my first year, but I'm like a type A. I like always have to make sure everything is together, and I'm still that way even this year going into my second year. But the very first year I planned kind of how I wanted my classroom to be. The one thing that I wasn't so sure on how to plan, because I've never taught third grade and never been in a third grade classroom, was actually getting lesson plans together. I didn't actually lesson plan with my team until the week before school started. And they were really great help, but basically I just like bought a bunch of stuff for my classroom, made sure I had some resources in mind that I wanted to use for the first week of school. But yeah, I did a ton of planning, and you probably will do a ton of planning too. So my next question comes from TS Cockrell on Instagram, and she says, hey Brittany, I am making a career change to be a teacher. She graduates in May with her master's in teaching. She's actually originally from South Carolina, which is so cool, and I actually know her aunt, so that's really cool. But she said, I'd love to hear you talk about what it was like getting into the curriculum for the first time. When did you have access to it? Did you plan the year with your team teachers? And she knows that each school district will be different. So the first question that I'm going to tackle is getting into my curriculum for the first time. So I had access to standards, you know, that's public knowledge, but the actual curriculum that we use for math and reading, so math we use everyday math, reading and writing we use the Units of Study by Lucy Calkins, and I had access to those pretty quickly once I got hired and I actually started like connecting with my math and literacy coach. They gave me that curriculum pretty quickly, and I was able to start learning it because it is very overwhelming when you're getting into a brand new curriculum that you've never used, especially Lucy Calkins. I was super overwhelmed. I was like, oh my gosh, this is verbatim. What do I do? It was scary. But I had access to it pretty much right away. But I would say if you're nervous about the curriculum that you're going to get yourself into, just ask tons of questions to your coaches if you have a coach. If not, there is a ton of teachers on Facebook, even myself, that can help you, and we are more than happy to help you. As far as planning is, I do plan with my third grade team. We meet once a week, and we plan for the next week. So we have our long range plan for the month, and we do that pretty much all together. But then we meet like once a week and we plan for the next week, and that is so fun. We were kind of lazy about that last year, I felt like, though. Towards the end of the school year, we really didn't meet often, and we were kind of like, I felt like I was kind of on my own for some things. But I had a really great relationship with one of my team teachers, and she helped me a lot with planning my lessons. Michelle Plans It on Instagram asked, do you lesson plan digitally or lesson plan on paper or both? So I lesson planned for the first part of the year on both. So we have to plan digitally because we have to turn our lesson plans in to a folder online. We go through the live Google Docs. So I had to plan digitally, but I also plan on paper just in case something happened. But near the end of the school year, I went strictly to planning digitally. That is the only way I can plan now. I just find it to be so much easier. And it's just all in one space, and I don't have to keep up with a paper copy. She also asked, does your school let you pick what goes on your supply list, or do you personally get to decide, and if so, what would you put on it? So we have a common 3rd grade supply list already set up when I got there, so I didn't really have much of a say-so in the list for my first year, but for this year, we went through and took some things off because we do teach in a Title I area. So there was a little too many things on there for our families to really buy all at once. But we put on there this year, we needed pencil boxes. We were tired of community supplies. Kids just fought over them way too much. We put in personal earbuds because that was a big one. We got earbuds from the school, but they were really like not good quality. The kids broke them very quickly, and I don't have a ton of money to put in earbuds, so we put earbuds on our supply list in hopes that parents will buy them. But even if I had to say so into what goes into our list, it would always be earbuds, 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 and maybe even just like a charger for their iPad, because those iPad chargers broke so fast this year. I even did a donor's choose for new chargers and they broke. So we are down to 4 iPad chargers again. So if y'all have any comments on that, leave them below, because I need to know what is the best way to keep up with these iPads and iPad chargers so the kids don't destroy them all the time. So somebody else on Instagram messaged me and said that she would love to know why I started doing YouTube. And she also wonders if the students, parents, and co-workers administration knows about my channel, and if they do, how do they feel about it? She says she's been teaching for 13 years and just started watching YouTube, and she thinks that it would be problematic in her district. So I started doing YouTube as a first-year teacher to document my first year of teaching. I really wanted to be able to look back on the videos of my year and kind of reflect on them and grow from my own videos. But now it's turned into more of a hobby thing for me. I really enjoy making these videos and sharing with you all cool things that I find, and really just talking to a teacher community, because it can be kind of an isolating field at times, and I love just sharing things with other teachers. So that's why I got started initially. I do have parents, students, coworkers, my administrators, they do basically all know about my YouTube channel. They think it's really cool. I've never had repercussions from having this YouTube channel. I keep my channel pretty professional and clean, as any channel should be anyways, so they don't have a problem with it. They think it's really cool. People watch my videos at the school. My teammates last year thought I was like super peppy for it, and they loved it. They were always like, oh, look at Brittany, she's vlogging her classroom again, no big deal. But yeah, they thought it was really cool. My administrators know, they think it's a cool thing as well. My principal actually said one time that she wanted to learn how to vlog. So yeah, they really don't care. And I don't think it should be too big of a deal if you're keeping it strictly like clean and teacher oriented and family friendly. I don't think that it should be something that people look down upon, because you're just sharing more information about the career that you love. So Miss Francis Learns on Instagram asked, what are some classroom must-haves? She's going to be a first-year teacher in August. So first, congratulations. Being a first-year teacher is so nerve-wracking and scary, because you really don't know what to expect, really what you're getting yourself into, or really and truly what you even need for your classroom. I would say some classroom must-haves is organization. If you don't have organization in your classroom, definitely invest into the rainbow cart. I have one of those in my classroom. It's not rainbow colors, but it's just a black cart, and it has the pull-out drawers. It was great for me to put their manipulatives and crayons and markers and just things like that that is at ease for the kids to use. And I would also say invest in a really awesome pencil sharpener, because they break so easily. Also make sure that you have enough crayons, pencils, glue sticks, erasers, because those things for some reason this year for me, they disappeared like nobody's business. And so I would just make sure that those are your must-haves. Speducating, I think that's how you pronounce it, Speducating in Georgia on YouTube asked about my home buying experience as a single person. I was going to make a separate video on that, but I want to keep this channel more teacher-based, and I know I shared a lot about my house, and I'm still going to do house videos, but I thought I would just answer this really briefly in this video to cover it. But home buying experience as a single person was super stressful, and I was doing it at the most stressful time of the year. I thought if I waited to buy my first home closer to the end of the school year, it would be like school would wrap up enough, but it was actually the most stressful time of the year. I had tons of end of the year activities going on, paperwork, meetings, and I was doing that all on top of buying a house. The very first thing that I did when I bought my house, or when I decided to buy my house, was I needed to find a realtor, and I really had no idea where to go. I didn't ask anybody for help to find a realtor, and I knew a realtor from a family member. She's best friends with my aunt, and I decided to use her as my realtor. And she helped me find a lender to get pre-approved. Awesome lender company, but I got pre-approved, not for a huge amount because I am a single girl on pretty low salary, so I was pre-approved for a pretty low amount, so it made the home buying process really difficult because I was very limited to what I could possibly buy. A lot of the houses that we were finding for the price range I was allotted were very old homes that needed a ton of work. Some of them were short sales. We had some that were in foreclosure that people have destroyed, and a lot of these houses just required a ton of work, and I didn't have extra money to put into a house that needed work, and I didn't have the time to put into a house that needed a ton of work either. So one day my realtor showed me a listing for a townhome, and you guys, I should give you a side note, I was totally against townhomes, anything like that that was not its separate entity. I wanted really my own space. But for the price that I had to settle with for my house, I ended up looking at this townhome. So we went one day and I walked in and I saw the front of it, and I loved the aesthetic of this place. It looked like the cutest little thing, and so we went inside and it was so pretty. I loved the way that it looked, and it had 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and I was just like blown away that I was looking at a townhouse that had all of this for the price that it was asking for. So I went home. I was still living at home, obviously, at that time with my parents, and my dad wasn't home, and he was helping me a little bit with this process. But I called him, I was like, Dad, like, we looked at this townhouse. I love it. I really think that this is the one. And he was like, well, if you like it, you know, get your papa to, like, check things, because I'm a girl. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I just see a cute place, and I'm like, yes, okay, let's buy it now. So anyways, my papa came out. He checked out, like, the unit, make sure the unit was fine, and other things that I wouldn't think to look at, and then I put in my offer. Now, I was like, oh, this is so easy. I put in my offer. They declined it the first time. I literally cried my eyes out. So I put an offer in for about $7,000 less, just because of the market that the house or the townhouse was in. The price was too high for the market, and it was also too high for the loan that I was trying to get for this place. So we put in a low offer, and we told them we wanted to keep appliances, the blinds, and we found some like water damage in the back of the house, just on the baseboard of like the back door, and we wanted them to fix that as well. So they came back, they declined it, so, you know, we can't do that. Then I was like, okay, they just didn't want to fix the damage to the water spot on the door. I was like, fine, so let's put in another offer. So we put in another offer for the blinds and the appliances, and they were like, just whatever, we'll fix it on our own. On my own. Or should I say my dad will fix it, because I can't fix nothing. But anyways, we put the offer in, they came back and they accepted it. But y'all, this literally stressed me out so much, because we just kept going back and forth between different offers, and my dad was like, you know, sometimes you just have to say this isn't it. But I was like so bent. I was so bent into getting this place. I thought it was just perfect for me, and it is perfect, and I'm so glad it worked out. But y'all, just the paperwork that you have to fill out when you buy a house was just ridiculous. I was reading through some of the contracts and all of that by myself, and I had no idea what any of it meant. And I was so afraid to ask for help. But yeah, it was really hard to do it on my own. Sometimes I felt like I didn't have enough help, but it ended up working out. I closed on my house in April, I believe. Yeah, it was probably around April. the end of April that I closed on my house. Closing was not easy either. Like, this whole process I felt like was just the epitome of my life. Like, not easy at all. Closing went over. There was a couple documents that were just not right. So we had to like fix those while we were going through it. And then we finally finished the closing. I got the keys to my house. I moved in. I was moving in all night. I had to go to work the next day. But then once I finally got settled in and got everything the way that I wanted it, y'all, it's so worth it. Because when I was thinking about moving out, I was looking at renting apartments, and to rent an apartment in my area is almost like 3 times what a mortgage would be. So it's crazy that I even looked at apartments. I was like going to actually rent this one apartment, but I was just like, you know, I just cannot see paying what I was going to pay for an apartment, for a 1-bedroom apartment on top of that, and I would have to pay them extra money to just have my dog and my cat live with me. It just wasn't worth it for me. And it just made more sense for me to have my mortgage payment, which it is, I got so lucky with my mortgage, and I don't want to, like, you know, air my finances, but I got super lucky with this place, and my mortgage payment is literally, like, it's so awesome. Like, I don't even cry every month when I pay my mortgage payment. But anyways, that was all of the questions that I had for this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you ever have any questions, don't ever hesitate to leave them down below or message me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is down below if you're interested in following me there. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and hit the red subscribe button below. I make sure that I put out videos every week, and I would love to have you follow along. I will see you all in my next video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye, guys!